Mike Jones here, and you were tuned into uGospel.com. And on the phone, I have up-and-coming rapper on the music scene right now that hails from New Orleans, Dee-1. Dee-1, man, what's up?
Oh, man, everything is great. I'm very, very excited to be on deck with you.
Now, before we get started, the one thing I do want to clarify is what type of musician would you consider yourself? Do you call yourself a rapper, a gospel rapper, Christian rapper, hip-hop artist, spiritual lyricist?
Well, I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think that's how the quote goes. And that being said, I'm whatever someone interprets, my music to be. My music is whatever someone interprets it to be. So I don't put a box on it. I don't put a title on it, man. I'm Dee-1, and that's and that seems to be enough for the audience, So it's working. So yeah, I'm just on that tip.
More so in this industry, do people is it easier for them to say, I'm not specifically a gospel rapper, my lyrics may be positive and uplifting and spiritual, but, I don't really want to box myself in that. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Some people box themselves in because they do one thing for one specific audience, and I think that's fine if that's what you do. I know that for me, my music reaches everyone from college campuses to the hoods to churches, to youth pastors, to other artists, like street rappers who love it. So since it reaches so many people, I think I would be doing myself a disservice to box myself into saying I do one thing.
I definitely agree with you. Another thing I want to ask you, I see that you were a school teacher at one point. And so how did you transition from being a school teacher into taking on being an artist full time?
I applied the same work ethic that I applied towards teaching to being an artist. And the main thing is, you have an audience that's listening to you and looking at you, and you have to give them something to go home with. Same thing as when you're a teacher. You got these students in the classroom who are looking to you to teach them. So that's how I feel about my audience as a hip-hop artist. So I apply those same principles of, one, to let the audience know that I care about them, number one. Number two, showing them that I'm very authentic and I'm not just a cookie-cutter artist. I'm very authentic, and what you're going to get from me, you can't get from anyone else. I apply those same principles in the rap game as in the classroom.
True. But the way I was asking was like teacher by day, rapper by night. You go home, you grade papers, and you do a lesson plan, and then, you write down a couple of quick 16 and put your mixtape together. Like, how did you balance out the two? What made you choose one over the other?
Oh, the way I balanced out the two was I almost killed myself by working so hard, man. I had 2 full-time jobs. Like you said, I would literally teach from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then from 3 p.m. until about 3 a.m., I was in Dee-1 mode, performing, promoting, driving to different cities, and driving back that same night so I could make it on time for class the next day. I was doing all that stuff, and it got to the point where I realized I had to make a choice, and I prayed on it, and I ended up choosing hip-hop.
You've been on tour with people like Killer Mike, Young Dro, even Macklemore, and Lupe Fiasco, too. But then you got a lot of features, and you featured on songs with, like, Lecrae and Derek Minor and a lot of the gospel artists. How do you, link up with these people or these other artists to work with them, whether it's collaborating for a song or it's collaborating to be on tour? Because it's such a different spectrum, if you will, of artists. So how do you, relate to all the people and fit in? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't try to fit in. They naturally fit in with me. I never try to act like Macklemore so I could go on tour with him, or act like Lupe so I could fit in with him, or act like Lecrae so I could fit in with him. Man, I just be myself, and those people fit in with me. So I'm excited that the person who God naturally made me is able to really, some people say that, man, because it makes them sound cool and diverse. But like you said, my track record speaks for itself. I literally get it in all the way from the gospel artists to the young Dros of the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, how can one person do that? And if you listen to me on every one of those tracks, no matter who it is I collaborate with, from Juvenile to Manny Fresh to Lecrae, to whoever, one thing that you'll hear is like, wow, he's being himself the whole time, you know? So that's the exciting part.
Has there ever been a time where you felt like awkward or like out of place where you may have been on tour with like maybe like Young Joe and Killer Mike, and you come out and you know you start spitting your inspirational message and the crowd kind of like...
I never really thought about that stuff too much. The one time I thought about it heavy was I had to open up for Juicy J. This was last year. In 2014, I opened up for Juicy J. And I was like, man, I know this crowd did not come here expecting what I'm about to hit them with. And it was funny, man. It was like an adrenaline rush, though, because it was just great just to see everybody's facial expression just change, you know. And when I walk out, you know, I got dreadlocks, you know. I'm dressed like how you think a street rapper be dressed, so they thinking like, oh, all right, yeah, we about to go in off. And so it's dope. I keep a picture on my desktop on my laptop computer of that concert, because at the end I had everybody throwing their 3's up, saying be real, be righteous, be relevant, and it's just funny to look back and see. I'm looking at the picture as we talking right now, and it's just like you got some people throwing their 3's up, you got some people throwing their middle finger up. It's just funny, bro. But now it's cool, man. It's cool. That's what we called to do. You know, we called to bring lightness to bring light to darkness. You know.
Speaking of 3's up, you said it stands for be real, be righteous, be relevant.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you?
That's the perfect way to describe, you know, what my goal is in every aspect of my life, in everything I do, from friendships to relationships to professional life. I want to be real, be righteous, and be relevant in every aspect of my life. And I think that's something that everyone, that's an easy thing for people to hear and to relate to and be like, oh yeah, like that's cool, that makes sense, and I would want to do that as well, you know.
If you could say it was one thing that you want your fans to take away from your album after they listen to it, the message that you want to convey to them, what would that message be?
What I want them to take away after listening to my EP is that this man is not perfect. This man goes through the ups and downs that life, you know, deals out to us, but through it all, you know, he's committed to being real, being righteous, and being relevant. I think that's the best way to describe what I want them to take. Like I talk about my hardships, I talk about my trials, I talk about, you know, just tough times, man, depression, all that type of stuff. I talk about, you know, just that type of stuff. But I also want people to know that through it all, I walk out positive, because I'm always striving to be real, be righteous, and be relevant. Yeah.
Are there any artists that you look up to, or any people that inspire you?
Sure. As far as artists, I mean, most of the people that inspire me are not artists. You know, most of the people that inspire me are like, you know, my parents and my grandparents. They inspire me.
Well, like musically and lyrically.
Oh, lyrically, Nas. Nas my favorite.
Okay.
Nas' favorite rapper. Nas, Tupac, you know, DMX. I really grew up when I was real young. I was inspired by DMX's passion, you know.
Yeah. You did the Sway in the Morning show, and then where you did an interview with them, and then kind of made a comment about Nicki Minaj, and then the people were like, basically was backlashing, going out against what you said, and then, you know, you issue not even an apology, but you respond to your message, and you still stuck to what you said. Like, it ain't like you apologized and tried to retract. You just proved your point. You know what I'm saying? So could you kind of explain that whole situation real quick?
Yeah. I think that you shouldn't throw a rock and then hide your hand, you know. So I truly felt in my heart that what I said was valid, and I do stick by my statement. So only reason I issued an explanation for it was so that people could understand the context, you know, in which I made that statement. Like when I did the freestyle and I made a comment, I said, if God tells me to, I does it. young queen, stop looking up to Nicki Minaj. She's a puppet. We ain't got no role models, just a bunch of lying rappers. I work like a slave, but I serve the right master. I think that right there, that gave it a little.
Right, and that was in the cipher on the BET Hip Hop Awards, right?
No, that was in the Sway Doomsday.
Oh, that was on the actual interview.
No, that wasn't on the Sway interview. That was something else I did with Sway called the Doomsday Cipher, like end of the year cipher that he did, and it's called the Doomsday Cipher. Yeah. So I said that in my verse in the Doomsday Cipher. Yeah, it was one of them situations, man, where yeah, that's how I felt, and that's how I feel. So I just said it, and I explained it, and I justified it with my explanation, and yeah, I just woke up the next day and just kept living my life.
Right. I went to the next.
Right.
Now, I know that you're about to get on the road for this upcoming tour, so could you kind of tell us what we could expect from you on the road as far as your live performances, and if you could think of any off the top, some of the cities that you're going to hit?
Yeah, I give the best live shows, man. I do. I really do. Like, it's like, you know, I pattern my live shows after people like DMX, people like Busta Rhymes. These are some of the best live performers I've ever seen in my life. You know, I give the best live shows, definitely. And some of the cities and you know, this is my first headlining tour, you know. So every other tour I've been on, I've been an opening act, which is cool.
Right.
But at this point, it's exciting to step out here and be doing it on my own, headlining. So I'm gonna be hitting up Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, which is right outside of Providence, Atlanta, Dallas, and of course New Orleans. That's some of the cities, and we got more cities being added every day.
Do you have any opening acts or any other artists on the bill for the lineup?
It's gonna be local openers in each city. So we'll let the whoever's doing their thing in each city, we'll have them open up. I really like doing that. Yeah.
If it was an artist that anybody that you could say, you know, I want you to headline the tour with me, or I want you to open from your, you know, any artist that you're feeling right now that you would want to be on the road with, who would that person be?
Anybody who I would want to be on the road with, who? I think it'd be cool to go on the road with people who I just think, you know, similarly to. So I think, you know who I really rock with, my man, PJ Morton. You know, he's PJ Morton and Miley Music. I like both of them a lot, and I think that it'll be interesting because they're in a different, you know, like it won't be like rap on top of rap on top of rap. It's like people who do similar type of music and got similar missions, but it's different genres. So yeah, I said PJ Morton and Miley Music. Yeah,
definitely two dope artists. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. You know, 3's Up is in stores now. Everybody, make sure you want to go grab that. Of course, at the end of the day, always be real, be righteous, be relevant. This is Mike Jones. We got Dee-1 on the phone. Is there anything else you want to say to your fans and supporters before we go?
That's it. Everybody, just after you listen to 3's Up, you're gonna smile. You're gonna be like, wow. You're gonna smile and you're gonna say wow, and you're gonna say, you know what? I'm happy because it was only $4.99. So that's the other thing. that for real, man. It's an EP. So I didn't want to knock people's heads off. So it's only $4.99, man. So go out and cop that. You're going to really, really be happy that you did. And the response has been overwhelming. You know, we just man, we just riding this wave right now.
And then how can your fans and your supporters keep up with you on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff?
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is at Dee-1 Music. DEE, the number 1 music on everything. DEE1 Music.
Okay. All right, man. Again, I want to thank you, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope you kill this tour. I hope the sales for this EPs through the roof, man. I wish you nothing but success and everything like that in the future.
Much love, man. All right, then.